after winning 4 jams before you do leads?
Oh, I don't give a shit. It's a tournament. I also want my last game to have no leads in it, so yeah.
Fair.
Spring Roll and Sparnar both wearing the stars for their respective teams. This jam, Spring Roll getting out and getting lead jammer.
Sparnar with 1 to beat and through on an initial pass. All 4 points picked up there for your Wreckers.
New beer alert. Ninkasi is now being served at Derby. Grab a Prismatic IPA or yours truly easy drinking ale right now.
I really liked your alarm noises.
It got everyone's attention, didn't
It
it?
got my attention.
Like, what in the world is happening right now?
We've got the Grand Chahi back on the track against Sci-Fi Curious for your Wreckers.
Grand Chahi picking up lead jammer. You and I are just going to talk over each other this entire game.
It's going to be so fun.
Once we get our hustle and flow going here, we'll be fine. Grand Chahi trying to get those hips past a couple extra blockers.
Hey, let's shout out Jam on Hawthorne. Visit Portland's best brunch spot and new RCR sponsor.
Flathead Valley starting 1 down on this next jam as one of their blockers is in that button light penalty box.
Vengeance on the track for Flathead Valley and Force Majeure for Rose City Wreckers. It's a 2-point game.
So fun fact, Force Majeure is an attorney and Force Majeure is legal speak for force of nature.
Oh, interesting. Hashtag fast fact. Hashtag fast fact.
Must be one of those Latin things. 4-point pass for Force Majeure as she looks to add to her total.
That's a smart name.
Illuminati all the way around for 4 points of their own.
Flathead Valley a little crippled by having 2 in the box. That is Veruca Slaughter.
Force Majeure breaking up that pack, picking up 4 points on the way through. 4 points for Illuminati as well.
Jurassic Park headed to the penalty box.
Yeah, Flathead has a skater in the queue also. The penalty box manager was calling for them to come in, but no one was bringing them in. And it looks like that's going to get resolved right now with the penalty trackers. But in the meantime, let's talk about Laurelhurst Theater and Pub, bringing the best of classic and modern cinema to Portland. Laurelhurst Theater and Pub.
That sounds charming.
Spring Roll and Sparnar. Spring Roll, before I even finished my sentence, gets out and is our lead jammer.
Sparnar finding the inside line and through on their initial pass.
Spring Roll calling it off before Sparnar has the ability to re-engage the back of the pack. Holding Flathead scoreless that last jam.
Thanks to the following sponsors, Sisu Mouthguards and Myoptic Optometry.
So, Nom, has none of these been done?
Once again, Flathead Valley Roller Derby in black and Rose City Rollers records are in gray. Out first, the Grand Chahi lead jammer for Flathead Valley.
Sci-Fi Curious working against a full complement That was a beautiful jump by the Grand Shahi.
The Grand Shahi grabbing a cheek assist on that pass.
Both teams setting up to catch those jammers at full speed.
Thanks to the following sponsors, Voodoo Donut and Shebop. They're not going to be happy about Native American references, just so you know.
Okay.
So, no chief, also no ladies and gentlemen, because that's gender binary. So, no, I'm just trying to get ahead of it for you.
Force Majeure and Vengeance wearing those stars. Force Majeure being escorted to the outside by some of those Flathead Valley blockers, but capitalizing on it, finding a gigantic hole and picking up lead jammer.
Vengeance still on an attempt for an initial pass. Rutgers Wall looking strong in the back.
Poundstooth headed to the penalty box on a multiplayer, I believe. Force Majeure calling that jam off.
And thanks to these sponsors, Kay's Bar and Vacasa.
$22 for Flathead Valley, $37 for Rose City Rutgers. We've got 21:15 in this first period clock.
Spardar and spring roll again. Spardar quickly working left and right, not giving those Wreckers a chance to reform. That is vitamin D.
Spring roll grabbing lead jammer. Nice hit there on the inside line. That was number 91, pint-sized pistol with the hit.
Spring roll seeing Sparnar about to re-engage, wisely calls that jam off. You know what, Hamtramck, I often think about being more awesome in my life. Is there somebody that can help me with that?
Yeah, you know, there really is, and I'll find it here just shortly. WSL Leadership Coaching will help you be more awesome in your work, sport, and life.
Sci-Fi Curious and the Grand Shahi.
Flathead Valley walling up at the front. Both jammers out now. Lead jammer going to Sci-Fi Curious.
It's this shoulder though.
Short.
There are many whistles in there, and I am unsure what was actually happening, but we ended up with a wrecker in the box.
And let's shout out PDX Pipeline and S1 Helmets.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Down on that Ron Tonkin jammer line, we've got Vengeance up against Force Majeure.
Rutgers doing a great job in that Triforce near the front, holding down the line. Vengeance is recycled.
Did you say the Triforce?
I did.
As in Zelda Triforce?
That's really nerdy. I like it, yes.
I sidetracked myself.
Vengeance bringing the pain.
And possibly even some vengeance.
Wow.
Plus pain.
Vengeance plus pain.
Hey, big thanks to Franz Bakery and 187 Killer Pads. Sometimes a sponsor read is the only way out of a bad pun.
I am so full of them tonight.
You're full of it, all right.
always. Spring Roll and Sparnar. Spring Roll, not taking no for an answer, charges to the front of the pack and is our lead jammer.
Sparnar near the outside line, making some moves. One to beat. Goes down hard. That looked like it hurt.
That was Chris Demeanor that was making life difficult for Sparnar.
Both jammers out of the pack now. Sparnar on an initial pass, and Spring Roll picked up 4 the last time around.
Spring Roll choosing to not try and pick up another couple of points, calls it off instead with Sparnar on her heels.
That was a drowning pool jam because the bodies were hitting the floor.
Ha.
Sponsor Eat will help us. Hey, let's shout out Red Bull and Portland Vital Signs.
Hey, look, it's 4-4-2-4.
Is that significant?
It's a lot of 4s.
3 of them, in fact.
Too bad Force Majeure's not out there.
That would have worked out really well.
But Sci-Fi Curious and the Grand Chahi are.
Oh, wow.
The Grand Chahi batting 1,000 for lead jammer.
Grand Shahi went into 4th gear, knocking bodies, picking up points.
Doing the things that Durbers do.
Durbers?
Durbers.
Nothing like a good Durber, that's what I always say.
Hey, big thanks to Oaks Amusement Park, home of the Rose City Rollers, and the place to purchase your derby gear.
Once again, for those of you at home, black Flathead Valley Roller Derby, gray Rose City Rollers Wreckers.
There's Force Majeure and Vengeance. So a force to be reckoned with and Vengeance. It's kind of a scary jammer duo. Force Majeure hoping to push the Rose City Wreckers over 44 points.
Force Majeure lighting up the opposing wall. She's got 1 to beat.
So you and your 4s, we've got a score of 44 with Force Majeure, whose number is 444.
If only someone had taken a picture of that.
Oh, wow.
We have a star pass on Flathead Valley to hammer.
So you mentioned Flathead Valley. They're from Montana. Have you ever seen pictures of Flathead Lake in Montana?
Is that the one with the it's super clear with the pretty
It's
stones?
crystal clear, yeah.
With the rainbow colored stones?
So when you see pictures of things on the water, it looks like they're floating because the water is perfectly clear. Beautiful place to be. Oh, and yeah. Well, next time.
Brought to you by the tourist department at Montana.
Montana Tourism. Montana Fishing Guides Association.
We call our dog hammers because it's got a really big dick.
Who, what?
Nothing.
Your dog?
Our dog. Spring Roll and Sparnar. Spring Roll is lead jammer.
Oh, big hit delivered right on the edge. That was Illuminati with the takedown in turn 1.
Do you want to go boldly where Derby has never gone before? Join us next weekend for Whose Jam Is It Anyway? A game where points don't matter and you get to make up the rules. It's sure to be out of this world. VIP and general admission tickets available at rosecityrollers.com. And you know, I heard there's going to be a skating official in an inflatable costume.
Really?
Just saying.
Well, I'm going to be there announcing in what is sure to be an amazing boutfit.
The Grand Chahi out there for Flathead Valley. Sci-Fi Curious
Can the
wearing
Grand-
the star for Rose City Wreckers.
Sci-Fi Curious breaking the Grand Chahi's lead jammer streak. Grand Chahi being run back by Chill, put a welt on.
Sci-Fi Curious picking up 4 points there, calling off the jam.
Hey, and you know what's happening tomorrow? The Daughters of Doom and the Little Red Riveters and the Undead Avengers are all going to play some junior roller derby. That would be tomorrow.
28-4 Flathead Valley Roller Derby. Rose City Wreckers sitting at 57 on the line. Vengeance for Flathead Valley and Force Majeure for Rose City Wreckers.
Force Majeure, 2 more to beat. Force Majeure around those skaters and will be lead jammer. Not only is Force Majeure lead jammer, but she is lead jammer in a power jam for the Wreckers. I was excited for that.
She's up to 8 points on the jam, looking to add to that total here. Flathead Valley trying to lock it down at the front. Good offense from the pivot. That is number 23, Colonel Korn.
Force Majeure getting run back by number 6699. That is Illuminati. Vengeance has rejoined the track. Jurassic Park and Civil Disobedience ready for.
We got a multiplayer block call there, and to the box goes Rose City.
Civil Disobedience.
Pack advantage will be with Flathead Valley to start the next jam.
Little over 11 minutes left in this first half, and we've got a score of 65 Rose City Wreckers to Flathead Valley's 28.
Sorry, what?
Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, I'll go.
Hey, you don't read these Woj ones for non-Woj games, do you?
No.
I didn't think so.
No.
I usually cross those out. I was just like,
Yeah, we're showing the front half.
Spring Roll and the Grand Chahi facing off this jam.
Grand Shahi finding some space on the outside, picking up lead jammer for Flathead Valley. And it is a power jam for Flathead Valley. Everyone's going crazy, Noms. It's nuts.
It is chaos down there on the track. Oh, well, that was beautiful. The Grand Chahi with a dainty yet perfect apex jump.
We're checking with Alaska. There could have been air miles involved with that.
Wow.
Wreckers not able to regroup, allowing the Grand Chahi easy access through the pack to pick up 4 more points.
You can't stop the Grand Shahi. You can only hope to contain her.
My goodness!
Wow.
16-point jam helping out the Flathead Valley cause.
Closing the gap between our two teams to 21 points.
Drinking an RCR sponsored beverage or grabbing some grub? Show our sponsors some love on social media and tag your photos with hashtag RCR sponsor. You'll be entered to win a pair of VIP tickets to one of our games.
Sparnar, lead jammer, Flathead Valley.
Sci-Fi Curious, half a lap behind, less, maybe a third, maybe a fifth.
Sparnar calls off the jam, but not before picking up 3 points.
Ish points.
3.25.
796.
Are you ready to party after a full day of Derby? Join the Wreckers and friends at the Nightlight Lounge. Drink specials and tasty food available at this 21 and over event. That's the after party tonight.
Oh, last time I heard that was a TBD. So glad that we got a location.
Force Majeure with 1 to beat on the outside line, and lead jammer, Rose City Wreckers.
Shelby to Welton. Drawing back Vengeance. Vengeance not seeing it and getting a cut track. That leaves our Rose City Wreckers and Force Majeure in a power jam.
That emphasis was wrong.
Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
We'll sell you the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge.
Force Majeure with a 4-point. Nah, let's make it up to 8. 4 on the pass, 8 on the jam.
I think that losing the jammer point has been the most beneficial to Force Majeure because Force Majeure, number 444, continues to pick up 4 points every jam.
That was Shot of Patron with the big hit on the outside line, sending Force Majeure hat over tea kettle or something.
I thought you were accusing me of taking a shot of Patron,
Oh, that would have been good too and funnier.
but I realized I was a skater. Same thing. Force Majeure in another power jam. Same power jam, different power jam. That jam is over, leaving the wreckers in a power jam for the start of this next jam, which makes me so excited I can barely sit still.
Are you an RCR fan for life? Head out to Ink Bus in the parking lot, serving up $50 tattoos so you can rep your pride for your favorite derby league.
I think those are face tattoos. Just kidding.
I mean, that's a lot of dedication.
Yeah. You're pretty committed at that point.
Yep.
Face tattoos? Are you getting one?
I may wait a minute. Need to talk to the girlfriend.
What if it was her name? Spring Roll is our lead jammer. Vengeance, stuck at the middle of the pack. Seems like every time she breaks through, the wreckers reform in front of her.
Spring Roll on the inside line, picking up 4 points on the pass.
Looks like we have a... Not a start.
Oh, are you kidding? Oh my word.
Spring Roll picking up another 4 points.
3 points. It was a no pass, no penalty. One blocker had stepped over the line. Could not pass legally. However, there was no penalty because out of bounds.
I'm glad you're paying attention. I'm just taking shots of Patron.
Not a bad use of time either. 4 points on that pass, taking it up to
Vengeance headed to the penalty box again. We have a new jammer of record for Flathead Valley. That is Illuminati.
Math is hard.
Hey, it looks like we have possibly an official review happening here.
Official review. Wreckers, it looks like. You know what's great to do during an official review, Hamtramck?
What's that?
Buy raffle tickets.
That's a great idea. Where's the thing that has the raffle-y thingy?
It's right here. It's $400 if you want to read all of those things. But there's kombucha. There's a pair of slippers named Heather.
There's like all kinds of cool. Oh, the cookies. The cookies alone are worth it.
We Are Baked cookies.
Oh, they're so good. We Are Baked has a food cart over on Powell and 52nd, and it's amazing. Wooden skate gear rack. That'd be pretty cool. Dry out your stuff. 4 kettlebell classes plus an intro class.
Good. We have 3 totally different ways of saying it. None of them probably correct.
Gray, yes, it is Gray. Gray is seeking a charging penalty on the black jammer.
So charging, if you're not familiar, it's kind of an old school term for contacting a down skater. Nowadays, it would just be an illegal contact. But if a skater drops to their knees, and even if you're trying to stop from falling on top of them, if you put your hand on them, that is charging or illegal contact. That's what they're looking for.
Call me MasterCard because I'm charging.
Some things just have to just sit there.
Visa, Discover.
47 for Flathead Valley Roller Derby, 94 for Rose City Wreckers.
The hangar is everywhere you want to be.
Somebody was talking about Alaska airline miles. I have a visa with them, charging, it all goes together. If you can follow my caffeinated stream of consciousness.
The connection is strong with this one. Flathead Valley in black and gray is the Rose City Rollers Wreckers.
Bad puns. Don't leave home without it. All right, it looks like we have some clarification.
Sending it down to the floor.
It was deemed that that black had no additional contact, and the contact was unavoidable. Gray loses their official review. Black is seeking a reversal of the forearm call on their jammer.
Okay, well that's interesting because they're looking for a reversal of a forearm call on a jammer that is not even sitting in the penalty box. So that leads me to believe the only advantage to winning this is if that jammer is close to fouling out and they want that penalty expunged. So, I mean, I think that's the only reason you'd want to do that.
That makes sense. We are attempting to get an official tally of said penalties, even as we speak.
I wouldn't think that they would be close to fouling out in the first half, but I've seen strange things. Hey, but in the meantime, let's talk about something else, HP. Let's see here. Oh, hey, merch is selling raffle tickets too. Why don't you add a few to your merch order and win? See all those wonderful merch people waving at you over there? They are selling raffle tickets. So go out and see your friendly merch people, and they will hook you up.
I encourage you to find somebody who's wearing 6-inch heels, somebody like myself, and pay $20 to get my height in raffle tickets.
Yeah, find a tall friend, preferably one with skates on, to do the raffle thing. Maybe even standing on one of the bleachers. I've seen that done, so. You got to get creative, people.
Very few rules when it comes to that, your height. Oh, sending it down to the floor.
Upon review, there was not enough information to maintain the call, so we are overturning the forearm call. Black will retain their official review.
So Flathead Valley retaining their official review and also having one of their penalties taken off of one of their jammers. Whoever most recently got called for a forearm.
If it's her.
Oh, I thought you said it was.
She's the only one who stands, but she's got the most
Okay.
penalties.
Hey, guess what? We're going to play Derby again.
Sci-Fi Curious and the Grand Chahi. The Grand Chahi lead jammer.
Chris Demeanor holding that outside line briefly. Grand Shahi asserting her speediness.
The Grand Chahi like a pinball coming out the front of the pack and calling it off.
Hey, speaking of merch, it's getting a little chilly outside, but we've got you covered with our new RCR soccer scarves. Snag yours at the merch booth, along with some other great swag.
About 4.5 minutes left in this period, and we've got a score of Rose City Wreckers 94 to Flathead Valley's 51.
Force Majeure doing a great job of feeding Illuminati into the wall of the Wreckers.
I think Flathead Valley fielded a pivot a little too late. There was a penalty out of the gate on the Flathead pivot.
Big takedown there in turn two. Blocker went down, so Force Majeure ever able to return to play.
No pass, no penalty.
I may be late to this party, but I love Illuminati as a derby name.
Illuminati's pretty dang good. I know Shove likes Scheme Weaver.
I do. I may have sang it when they skated out. You need a van with a bubble window on the side and a unicorn on it.
Oh, no.
Scheme Weaver.
That'd be pretty
Oh, no.
awesome. Spring Roll in the Grand Chahi. Spring Roll is another jammer who might be batting 1,000 on lead jammer statuses. Statuses.
Stat-eye. Some sort of underwater creature. I'm not sure.
A stat-eye?
Yes.
Or manatees?
4 points on the last pass for Spring Roll, attempting to add to that total here. Gets by 6:05 on the inside line. Picks up another 4 points. 8 total on the jam. Spring Roll.
Did they just back-to-back jam Chahi?
I think so.
Whoa.
Yeah, they've got a short pass round. 10.
11, I think it was.
Oh, you're done, by the way.
12.
I mean, you could maybe do a couple of these again, but
I guess we have a game at halftime.
Sparnar out there for Flathead Valley, and that's Sci-Fi Curious for Rose City Wreckers. Sparnar out first. Lead jammer, Flathead Valley.
Sparnar getting rid of some kernel corn before picking up lead jammer.
Well, thank you all for letting me join you. I'm going to go scamper off and get ready for the next game. So
Having a third is always the best when it's you, Hamtrak.
thanks, Noms. Thanks, HP. Y'all have a good one.
We appreciate you.
Is it a Menage a
The Grand Chahi out there for Flathead Valley. Force majeure for Rose City Wreckers. 1:10 remaining in this first period of play. Lead jammer going to force majeure.
Oh, yeah. Get you a third that rubs your shoulders.
Grand Chahi with the hustle, picking up 4 points on the inside line.
The Wreckers at some point hit the century mark. They are sitting at a pretty 108 points.
Are you doing the last game too? Okay. Are we 1 and 2 again? Who's our third? Otter? Just us? Well, I mean, it doesn't matter. I don't even read now.
We have a lead jammer. It's Spring Roll. Sparnar is right on Spring Roll's heels.
Beware the Ides of Sparnar.
The Ides of Sparnar. It's pretty good. Timeout with 1 or 0 seconds on the clock. There's that raffle going by in front of us again. I encourage you to buy some tickets. We will do the drawing for that at halftime of our final game. Game 5, but it's really game 4 of the tournament, but 5th game of the day. That's not confusing at all.
It is not. I'm glad you identified that. Thank you. 59 for Flathead Valley. They are in black. Gray, Rose City Wreckers, 109. This will be, barring some sort of act of goddess, the last jam of the period.
Act of some governing entity.
Some greater being.
The universe. Just an act of the universe.
Yes. The Cascadia Quake, for example.
Until then, we should get down on it.
In the stream, the music, I feel like the music references are lost. Okay.
Sci-Fi Curious and the Grand Chahi are our jammers for this last jam of the period.
Grand Shahi seeing plenty of action in this first period of play. I'm not sure what her fitness regimen is, but I need to find out.
Yeah, that. Making it look easy, the Grand Shahi picking up 3 points.
Flathead Valley closing this gap to end the first period. We're on jam clock now, which means that unless the lead jammer calls off the jam, we will be going for the remainder of the time, which is 105.
Record's just not ready for the Grand Chahi that time around.
There are moves being utilized by the Grand Shahi that I have noticed.
Smooth moves.
Much like our witty repartee.
Oh, yeah.
Huge hit delivered there. Blocker down, hopefully not serious.
There we go. It is intermission with a score of Rose City Wreckers 113 to Flathead Valley's 71.
right, ladies and don't say that. We're ready for the second period of play. It is 72 for Flathead Valley. It is 113 for Rose City Wreckers. Flathead Valley's in black. Gray are the Rose City Wreckers. We have 30 minutes on the period clock. The jammers for this next jam are the Grand Chahi for Flathead Valley and Sci-Fi Curious for Rose City Wreckers. Sci-Fi Curious with 1 to beat and turn 2.
And there's the Grand Chahi. Keeping that lead jammer momentum going.
And Grand Chahi calling off the jam. Points awarded 0. It's a round number.
In so many different ways.
I am up here with Nom Nom. I am HP Shovecraft. We're both super excited to bring you the second period of the runner-up game.
These teams playing for third and fourth place in this Pacific Northwest Pile Up tournament.
Exactamundo. Vengeance out there for Flathead Valley. Rose City represented by Spring Roll with the star.
Spring Roll is lead jammer.
Spring Roll inside the Flathead Valley wall. Flathead Valley doing a great job of contending turn 2 until they don't. 4-point pass for Spring Roll.
Flathead Valley with a completed star pass. Illuminati now wearing the star for Flathead Valley. I keep wanting to say Illuminati on Flathead Valley. I don't know, just making things rhyme, having a good time.
Let's rhyme some more. Why not? We've got a change of the star there. So we had a star pass to the pivot.
Go ahead. Keep going. Keep going.
The pivot is the only other skater on the track that can wear the star besides the jammer, Nom Nom.
I was going to say it'd be really cool if we had a change of the star on Sparnar.
The Sparnar star.
Sparnar has a star.
The rare and elusive Sparnar.
Star.
Star.
Starred Sparnar. Force Majeure and Sparnar both wearing the stars.
Sparnar knocked down by Force Majeure.
Force Majeure plowing her way to the front of the pack. We've got a forearm being called on number 13. That is Shot of Patron.
First period of play saw lots of action with a push towards the end of the period by Flathead Valley to make this a very close game, Nom Nom.
A push or a back block?
Yes.
Using sports terms interchangeably. We have a timeout.
This is the part.
Official timeout.
This is the part where they talk about the things, and we talk about
Trailhead Credit Union. Trailhead Credit Union, one of the official sponsors of the Rose City Wreckers. This is a Trailhead timeout. Go see them. They'll take care of all your financial needs and probably some of your non-financial ones as well. Trailhead Credit Union.
We do have 2 blockers sitting in the Bud Light penalty box.
That's a blocker and a jammer.
Sometimes the eyesight's not so good.
Flathead Valley starting in a power jam because Force Majeure is taking a little cool down.
But no one could have seen this coming. The Grand Chahi on the track for Flathead Valley.
Getting lead jammer?
I
That's unheard of.
I believe this is jam 24 for her out of 20 jams. How did she do that?
Only one jam so far. The Grand Chahi has not gotten lead jammer. And we're going to forget about that because I like saying that she's had an uninterrupted streak. Force Majeure re-entering the pack at turn 1.
I don't want to be an announcer about this, but Flathead Valley surging back into this game, Nom Nom.
Surging or scourging? I heard a C in there. Scourging back in.
They could be scourging. I think that's a pirate thing. When you're a pirate, you scourge, I think. Scourge of the high
Yarr.
seas.
I actually have a really good bad pirate joke.
Good, bad pirate joke.
Good,
Hit
bad
me.
What's a pirate's favorite letter?
Arr.
R. You might be thinking it's the R, but it's actually the C.
I was outfoxed by the noms. This is the low feeling.
Oh, it is a good night for roller derby.
Vengeance back to the track for Flathead Valley. This is Sci-Fi Curious for Rose City Wreckers. Once again, Flathead Valley in black for those of you at home. Gray, Rose City Wreckers. Lead jammer went to Sci-Fi Curious. Hammer on an initial pass as well. Haven't seen as much of Hammer from Flathead Valley at the jam spot.
Hammer the jammer.
I like to say jammer hammer.
The jammer hammer. The jammer hammer. Hammer the jammer. Any way you slice it, there's some skills on the track.
I think you need one more Red Bull and then you'll be set for the next game, which is going to be the championship of this entire Day-O Derby.
Is every blocker a nail when Hammer's the jammer?
Yes.
Your girlfriend might hate me at the end of this. So many bad jokes sometimes.
Spring roll and the Grand Chahi again. Lead jammer.
An absolute beast in this game. The Grand Chahi wearing the star, getting the lead jammer, and scoring so many points for Flathead Valley.
.42 points. Narrowly separate these two teams.
One of the better games today thus far without jinxing it. Nom nom.
Knock on wood. Or wood-colored plastic, as it may be. Force Majeure and Sparnar. Sparnar picking up lead jammer and calling the jam because they found themselves in out of bounds.
They were, and Force Majeure had position. It made good strategery for her to call off that jam. Did it for Sparnar.
Sparnar is smart.
Smirt.
Sparnar. That is Sci-Fi Curious and Vengeance pushing through the pack.
Good shoulders thrown by Vengeance. There will be marks tomorrow for Rose City Wrecker blockers.
Sci-Fi Curious picking up lead jammer. Every skater's a jammer when you've got a roster that light.
And Sci-Fi Curious back in the thick of it as Vengeance continues to push through that last line of defense on the Wreckers side.
Vengeance could use some help from her friends. And she got it in the form of Illuminati, the pivot.
And when you think about it, we get by with a little help from our friends, Nom Nom.
It's true. Illuminati, now our jammer of record for Flathead Valley, having had a successful star pass.
88, our score for Flathead Valley in black. For those of you at home, Rose City Wreckers in gray, 134. We've got 20:58 on this second and final period of play in this number 3 matchup.
Third game of the tournament, fourth game of the day.
My understanding was there was a WFTDA game earlier in between somewhere.
In between game 2 and 3 of the tournament. Spring roll, rolling on through with lead jammer.
Grand Shahi back on the track. They seem to be using Grand Shahi every second or third time out, mostly second, it seems like.
Flathead Valley playing with a very short roster, doing an exceptional job for the number of skaters that they have, but it's one of these times where every skater can be a jammer. Seem to be like the two. Oh. Sparnar and force majeure. Sparnar taking advantage of a little bit of disorganization at the beginning of the jam and picking up lead jammer.
Force majeure with 1 to beat and turn 1 and out for an initial pass.
Deviant Diva headed to the penalty box on a multiplayer block.
Barnar picks up all 4 points, calls off the jam. 92 now for Flathead Valley as they approach the century mark.
Century mark.
$18:45 remaining in the second period of play, and down on the track we have Vengeance for Flathead Valley Roller Derby. Rose City Wreckers calling on Sci-Fi Curious.
Sci-Fi looking for some help from Colonel Korn to get through those last 2 flathead blockers. Sci-Fi pushing so hard. 1 to beat. Letting her go. Sci-Fi Curious gets through.
Vengeance
Star
has
pass to the hammer. The hammer, just hammer. One might even say that it's hammer time.
Jammer the hammer.
No lead jammer this jam.
And 4 points on the pass for Hammer. It's 4-4 now on the jam. Sci-Fi Curious adding to her total with 3. 1 no pass, no penalty, so a blocker down or out of play.
You would know better than me.
4 more points as Hammer pushes Flathead Valley up to 100.
Flathead Valley crossing the century mark. Flathead Valley also at a distinct advantage right now as there are 2 Wreckers blockers sitting in that Bud Light penalty box.
Nice hit there from number 13, Shot a Patron on the inside line for Flathead Valley.
2 blockers out, 1 blocker back in. That is Vitamin D taking a seat.
And getting some offensive help, that is number 23, Colonel Korn for the Wreckers.
There is the end of that jam. Both teams with pretty good scoring ability there. We had the Rose City Wreckers picked up 14 points and Flathead Valley picked up 16. to close that gap between those two teams by about 2 points, if my math serves me correctly.
30 points on the jam. That is our highest scoring jam in the entirety of this game, Nom Nom.
But just this game.
Not in history.
Just this game.
Just this game.
Spring roll on the Grand Chahi. Is the Grand Chahi going to be able to make it for another lead jam? I could have predicted that 5 jams ago.
Oh, what bad things happened there. Okay, spring roll now in the box. There was a almost bench encounter there with our own team. Not sure what occurred there.
Me neither. But it is going to leave the Grand Chahi in a power jam as lead jammer.
Grand Chahi appears to be looking for a little help. Goes wide and picks up 4 points on the pass. This power jam could be just what the Grand Chahi ordered.
I see what you did there. Spring roll back on the track, just in time for Chelpota Welton to take a seat.
And 8 points so far on the jam for Flathead Valley.
We've got cheerleaders down there for the next game.
Exciting.
Uh-huh.
What team?
PDX cheer. Yeah, or cheer PDX.
Oh, they're their own thing.
119 for Flathead Valley, 152 for Rose City Wreckers. Sparnar on the track for Flathead, and Rose City calling on force majeure.
Sparnar getting lead jammer, followed closely by force majeure. Sparnar with a late cut track being assessed.
And that means it's a power jam for Rose City Wreckers. Force majeure with the star and most of the power.
So Sparnar was lead jammer, but then got the late cut track, and now force majeure is lead jammer? There should be no lead.
Right.
Okay. But
Unless she got the penalty prior to getting to being assigned lead.
Force majeure looking to rack up more points for the Rose City Wreckers.
3-point pass, so one no pass, no penalty blocker from Flathead Valley.
Sparnar back on the track. Taking a beautiful yet out of bounds whip from number 58. That is Disgrace.
Sparnar on the inside line, making it out for an initial pass.
Rose City Wreckers with 15 points that jam, holding Flathead scoreless. That is a big jam to be held scoreless on. Flathead Valley looking for a timeout. I've said it before, Shove, I'll say it again. Timeouts are a great time to go to the concession stand. I'm starting to smell some Derby nachos up here. Nothing goes better with Derby nachos, in my humble opinion, than a two-town cider.
That sounds delicious. Also, I love nachos.
Nachos might be one of the perfect foods. I say one of because tamales are also up there with
Oh,
perfection.
tamales are also very good, yes. No, I'm still on Team Nachos.
I don't know, I might have to, I'm not gonna fight you for it. I would have to fight nachos and tamales.
Or wins.
Is crowned the perfect food?
Perfect food.
Interesting.
They do that exact sort of thing at RollerCon every year.
Really?
Yep.
I have never been to RollerCon.
They'll pick, wavy hair versus straight hair, or
Oh, yes.
the important things, and then they settle it all on the track. Nom Nom bringing up the hard-hitting issues. 119 for Flathead Valley. Rose City Records at 167. 12:32 remaining in the second period of play for the number 3 position of the tournament of the entire day.
Pacific Northwest Pile Up 2019.
2019.
Sci-Fi Curious Vengeance down wearing the stars. I do hear some penalty whistles being called. Sci-Fi Curious getting out, picking up lead jammer.
And Vengeance out now as well.
We have a Flathead blocker in the penalty box.
And we got 1 point before the call off there.
We have somebody being sent to the penalty box. Oh, that's a jump cut on a late illegal contact call. Both teams will be starting with one in the box. 4-on-4.
Grand Shahi and Spring Roll on the track. Spring Roll with lead.
Well, that's an amazing turn of events. Spring Roll with batting 1,000. Grand Shahi batting 1,000. We now have a fast pack and a jammer race.
And this is the fastest pack of the game. 2
Grand
points.
Shahi excited for those 2 points that she gets to put up there.
I would be too, because they were moving 64 times faster than I possibly ever can.
Oh, easily. I'd even go so far as like 72, 75 times.
Hey, easy. 66 tops.
Well, in Spring Roll, I think has gotten lead jammer every time they've jammed, and the Grand Shahi has gotten lead jammer every time that they've jammed. So that may have opened a rift in the space-time continuum.
That's what we're doing. We're setting this back to the beginning of the game. It's going to be back to zeros with all the time on the clock.
We're actually just going to start running time in reverse.
Yes, for about 60 minutes. Sparnar on the track for Flathead Valley. Lead jammer, and 4 points picked up on the last pass. Force majeure, no opportunity to score.
2 Flathead Valley roller derbers and 2 Rose City Wreckers in that penalty box. We have a timeout, Flathead Valley. I like pinatas.
Full of nachos.
And tamales.
Mostly nachos, though.
That'd be a messy pinata. I feel like tamale pinata would be less messy.
Dang it, I might have lost there.
question for you. How much cheer could a cheer squad cheer if a cheer squad could cheer here? Everyone is cheer PDX. Give them a hand.
Do they represent like a local school? Are they private? Like, what's the deal?
In between the two games, I'll go figure it out.
Okay, we'll do that then. All right, back to the action. We got 125 for Flathead Valley. Rose City Wreckers sitting at 169. And Flathead Valley started the first period a little behind. They have closed that gap down. And as we go into this last 10 minutes, it's an opportunity here for them to continue that trend. Vengeance on the track against Sci-Fi Curious for Rose City Wreckers.
I thought it looked a little light on the track. It's because we have all those people in the penalty box.
It's weird. There are about 94 jammers and blockers in the box right now. No exaggerations. 4-point pass for Sci-Fi Curious. She was against a one-person pack.
Sci-Fi Curious blasting past those other blockers. I had a pun and it was gone.
Continued contact near the front of the pack. And let's do a tip of the hat for Veruca Slaughter, who has been attempting to contain Sci-Fi Curious the last couple passes.
Sci-Fi Curious with a huge cheering section just below us. And we have a star pass on Flathead Valley to Illuminati.
Clock winds down to 8 minutes remaining in this game. That was a 20-point jam for the Rose City Wreckers.
Biggest single jam we've had so far this game.
Hold on, let me check. Yep, checked all our stats. That is 20 points. Biggest jam of the game. Nice job, Nom Nom.
Thanks for confirming it for me. Spring roll in the Grand Shahi.
Oh, huge hit there on the edge of the track. It's like Pound's Tooth on the ground, back up on her skates, and that's a good thing because that was a shot.
Rose City Wreckers closing in on the 200 mark. We have another timeout being called for Flathead Valley.
As we get back to the action, we have Flathead Valley Roller Derby 125. They are in black. Rose City Wreckers 193. They are in gray. We have 7:07 remaining on the period clock in this runner-up game.
Force majeure and Sparnar on that Ron Tonkin jam line. Waiting for the whistle. Coiled for action.
Force majeure taking that undefended outside line. Lead jammer for Rose City Wreckers.
Sparnar turning on the afterjets. Afterjets, afterburners.
Pre-burners.
Good jam, both teams. Rose City Wreckers up with another point on the board.
We want to do a quick shout out to Flathead Valley Roller Derby coming all the way from the great state of Montana.
Where there's a beautiful lake, I hear, called Flathead Lake. That's clear with rainbow stones. Apparently things look like they're floating.
Flotation.
This endorsement brought to you by the Montana Guides Association.
The Grand Shahi back on the track.
Sci-Fi Curious sneaking around that entire pack on the inside and picking up lead jammer.
And it looks like points might be awarded for both sides, he said with a question mark. No, just Flathead Valley. 4-1. Flathead, so that was Grand Shahi really turning on the pre-jets to close out that jam.
The pre-jets.
Mm-hmm.
The jet burners.
Jet fastest.
Burner jets. Sparnar and Spring Roll. Who's it going to be? Colonel letting Sparnar go. Sparnar is lead jammer.
You can't stop Sparnar. You can only hope to contain them.
Nobody bars Sparnar.
He finally brought your stupid 50-cent jacket. Oh, man.
134 Flathead Valley, Rose City Wreckers at 195. We've got Vengeance on the line for Flathead Valley. Rose City Wreckers calling on force majeure. With one to beat in turn one, she is through. Lead jammer, Rose City Wreckers. Force majeure turning on the power on the inside line, through for 4 more points.
Check out my new jacket.
How can I not? It's spiffy. Spiffy Ducky.
It's pretty amazing.
If I had that jacket, I'd never take it off.
I may not. They'll bury me in this jacket.
Is it waterproof?
We'll find out. Force majeure. Continuing to let the jam run.
$16 points on the jam for force majeure.
Force majeure finally calling it after 16 points.
I'm just standing up. I want to stand up.
I thought it was to show off the jacket.
Nobody down there cares. You're not down there.
Everybody who cares is up here with me. Flathead Valley using their last timeout
It
for
looks
an
like an official review.
I have a LaCroix. Got a Coke.
Once again, for those of you at home, Flathead Valley Roller Derby 130. the tippity tail end of this runner-up game for the tournament today is,
It is.
right now.
Make sure you stick around to watch us close out this tournament. This would be the Pacific Northwest Pile Up 2019. By watching Cherry City go up against the Gorge. The Gorge team.
All right. Apparently they've earned their gorge.
Black is seeking a cut. It was determined that the jammer only had inferior position against one blocker, and they were turned in behind that blocker. Black will lose their official review.
There we go. Flathead Valley losing that official review.
Very few official reviews will remain now for Flathead Valley in this second period.
Approximately 0.
Roughly 0. I agree. We have concurred.
And confirmed. Consensus. Consensual consensus.
Oh.
I mean, come on, we're friends, right? Sci-Fi Curious and the Grand Chahi facing off maybe one last time. Sci-Fi Curious getting hit out by number 63. That is Veruca Slaughter. Is the Grand Chahi lead jammer again?
Indeed. 24 with lead jammer. Hits being delivered and points scored.
That was a huge hit on Jurassic Park.
I imagine at home the Grand Chahi probably has some sort of large wheel.
Where are you going with this?
Just that running can take place in continuously.
Like one of those hamster wheels?
Kind of like that, yes.
Okay. But only for skating, for endurance.
Only skating.
Like one of those swimming flumes, but for skating.
Like a flume skate.
Flume skate. We should make that a thing.
The flume of doom.
Sparnar and Spring Roll again facing off. Spring Roll picking up that lead jammer status yet again. I've got chills and they're multiplying.
I'm losing control. It's electrifying. Sparnar still trying to make it on an initial pass. Spring Roll up to 4 so far on the jam. Knocked out of bounds in the third quarter. Gumping her way into turn 4. That's a 4-point pass for Spring Roll. Up to 8 points on the jam.
Sorry, I was karaokeing with no mic. Spring Roll making it look easy, picking up another 4 points in the last few seconds of this game.
We're now on the jam clock. Spring Roll calls off the jam.
What is our unofficial score? Shove?
Flathead Valley Roller Derby 136. Unofficially, Rose City Wreckers 228. Unofficially. All right, ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Montana, let's make some noise for Flathead Valley Roller Derby.
I'd like to thank our outgoing captains for all the planning and organizing.
And from right here in the City of Roses, make some noise for your very own Rose City Wreckers!
Yes, please.
Final score 136 Flathead Valley, 228 Rose City Wreckers. Rose City Wreckers taking third place in the tournament today. Once again, I am HP Chefcraft, sending it down to the floor to Nom Nom.
Before we get down to the very, very important business of MVPs, can I please get to center track Birdie, D, Sprout, Zero, and Lethal? The Wreckers have a very important something that they would like to say to you.
Oh, that's how this is going to go. We would like to thank our outgoing captains and our coaches this season. Thank you for all that you've put into planning and organizing and everything you've done for the Wreckers.
Give them a round of applause.
Sprout. Zero. Thank you. D. Birdie. Thank you, Wreckers! Very welcome.
And now to the very important business of MVPs. Come out here if you got them.
Do you have yours? Okay.
Flathead Valley, who would you like to acknowledge as MVPs from the Wreckers?
And I would personally buy them a beer if they want one after. We forgot stuff!
But there's beers.
I'll buy you a beer. Okay. So MVP blocker, we would like to award to number 23, Colonel.
Colonel Corn. And MVP Jammer.
MVP Jammer goes to Spring Roll.
Spring Roll. Wreckers, who do you have for MV blocker?
1-3.
Number 1-3. And MVP jammer.
2-4.
Number 2-4. Let's give a big round of applause to both of these teams, these MVP blockers and jammers. Don't forget to stick around for our face-off for number 1 and 2 in this Pacific Northwest Pile Up.